Hi, I'm Lita Leapin.
And I'm Jim Gordon.
And welcome to another edition of Our City Tonight.
Well, Lita, we got some sunshine at this time of the year. It's pretty rare. We're here in Falls Creek, and a new episode is coming away right now.
Here in South Vancouver. We're back with one of our favorite mad scientists from Lab Distilling. Scott Thompson joins us again. For those of you that might not have seen us on past episodes, Jim and I were here back in March 2019, and you know what happened just after we visited you.
So the last time we filmed here, it was sort of just before all the craziness with what's been going on here, and it was almost, I felt like almost a couple of weeks after you guys had been here that things really started to go off the rails. But we've had to pivot a little bit in terms of our production and what we're doing. There's a lot of unforeseen sort of forces pushing on us. So we've definitely had to make some changes in that time period as well.
Mm-hmm. And the best companies have done that. They've pivoted properly. They've adapted. But as a local company, you've always been participating in your local community and giving back. You've done something pretty spectacular and giving back to your local community, and you're involved with a few really great charities. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so what we've been doing, I think almost every distillery locally is some version of this, but we decided we're going to spend most of our focus making alcohol wipes and trying to get them into sort of the higher risk communities, and they're just really easy to use and carry with you, so we've been using a lot of them. We've been working closely with CanAsk. We've been working with the Health Initiative for Men and the Street Saviors, three amazing groups doing amazing work, and we're happy to just help a little bit, as well as the community in general.
Well, I love how you describe some of these groups. They're out there with, they're in the community, they're warriors, really, really exciting.
And the work that a lot of these people are doing is absolutely amazing, and they've been going since the beginning of this. They've been going hard. They haven't taken breaks. They've been putting maximum effort into it, and we feel, we almost feel like we're not doing enough. You always feel like you could be doing more, but we are happy that we were able to make a bit of a difference and try to sort of push us towards a safer situation.
Well, I know, because I was one of your volunteers of making some of the hand wipes with them all over my small apartment. It was fun to contribute a little bit.
We had lots of great volunteers to help us too. That really made a big difference.
Excellent. Yeah. Now, that brings me also to you adapting and moving forward. If people aren't familiar with your line, give us a little bit of rundown of what you have been standardly making for 5 years, going on your 6th year in production here, but also some of the new stuff. Yeah,
so our typical products we have, of course, we've got some premium vodkas. We've got a cucumber gin, really nice, light, delicious gin. We're making a Turkish-style rakı, which is very similar to ouzo, but without the sugar. So it's really light, so you can actually have a little bit of it without getting that nasty hangover the next day. We're still doing our kombucha cordials, which is very low sugar kombucha-based liqueur, and then our newest products we started is our cocktail series, and we've been doing some cocktail bitters as well. So we've kind of expanded our product line a little bit, and hopefully gearing up for the next part of the season, we'll see these products sort of hitting the shelves a little bit stronger.
Wonderful. Well, we are going to come back with you later in the show and talk about the holiday series. Really saves a lot of time. I know how busy people are in the holiday season, so it's great to have some pre-made cocktails that are absolutely premium. So we're going to be back with Scott Thompson of Lab Distilling later on in the show. Thanks, Scott.
He's been called a truly amazing piano player. He's also been called Canada's Prince of the Piano. And the good news is he's from right here in Vancouver, and we're in the TELUS building right in the middle of downtown Vancouver. We're welcoming Martin Mayer, a pianist extraordinary. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a bit about your career. I was talking to you earlier about the fact that you've been making music, albums since the late 90s. You play all over the world, or did until COVID hit. Let's talk about your career and how you got going and what you've been up to.
Yeah, so I've been doing music for as long as I had hair back when I started. It's been a great journey. I got inspired by John Tesh, who did a Live at Red Rock special on PBS. I saw that and I thought, how do I do something like this that is going to allow me to raise up my hand and go, I'm a serious musician.
Right.
Hired a 20-piece orchestra, film crew, audio crew, mounted my own concert because nobody wanted to take it on. And what was great about it is that the recording from that caught the attention of a Chinese arts agency. It invited me on a national concert tour of China. I'd never been anywhere. I lived in Edmonton at the time, never performed really in Canada except for that show. Went on to this national concert tour of China, and I've been performing there ever since. 20-city tour last year. We were supposed to do 30 again this year, until we got locked down. So it's been a fun ride.
And we should also say, up until the time, largest tour of China ever in well, not ever, but modern history, obviously, by an artist. That's pretty impressive because that's a heck of a big market.
It is, and I still remember, sort of being pulled away by fans and being mobbed for autographs and all that sort of stuff. And here in Vancouver, I can walk around, people don't recognize me there if I don't wear the ball cap and the sunglasses in certain sections. People are just like, oh my God, it's Martin Mayer, which for me is so weird because I'm a piano guy, right? I'm not a rock star.
But to a lot of people around the world, you are. We should mention for people that may not know your music, how you define it. I took this from your website: instrumental, fusion, a combo of smooth jazz, classical, pop, and rock. And when I was listening to your music and checking out your videos on your website, that's kind of it. You've got a group of everything, and you make it sound great. Let's talk about music and your new single, Carol of the Bells, as we're in the holiday season right now.
So Carol of the Bells is great. It's been a family favorite. I've always loved it. When I go back to John Tesh inspiring me, I had a chance to meet him last year and became a good friend. And I said, hey, you've got this arrangement of this tune. Why don't you let me dust it off and sort of do a new version? And what's great about it is that even though I don't get to perform right now, creating music and releasing it out into the world, this single, I think, is something that will truly get people into the best of the holiday spirits.
We should say available on Martin's website. We'll have all the information on where you can find the single that he's going to go out on his website. All that coming in the end credits. Support local artists who also play internationally. Take us out, Martin Mayer.
We find ourselves here in Coquitlam, as Jim likes to say, out in the burbs. We're at Golden Parrot's Pub and Restaurant, where they have great upscale pubs food as well as live music. But on to the star of the show here is Chef Laura. We'd love to hear a little bit more about your history. 30 years as a chef. Tell us a bit about that very, very interesting and diverse history as a chef.
Well, I started off my career in theater, and that evolved to some film and TV, and it morphed naturally into cooking for film and TV. And I had a catering career for about 15 years on location, and I ended up working with some rock and roll bands as well, Duran Duran and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, as well as working at a resort that was a fishing resort, sustainable fishing resort in the depths of BC.
Wow, wow. Well, you've done all kinds of styles of food, exotic and sophisticated, right down to the casual comfort food. But you launched this particular product line very recently. Tell us about what made you do it.
Well, yes, it's very recent actually. September 28th we launched, and it all came about. March 13th changed everything for a lot of businesses, including mine. I had my own catering company for the past 10 years, and 22 events were canceled within a week. Creating a food product has been something I've wanted to do for a long time and just never had the time to do it. So all of a sudden with the pandemic, I had a lot of time. So I went into research and development and got a team together, and we came out with these products. So I'm really thrilled about them.
Well, the products are, well, they're wonderful. I've been able to try a bunch. Majority of them, well, if not all, are gluten-free, nut-free, basically allergy-free, and good for everybody. Love the fact that your items are meant to be used in, say, 4 to 5 different ways. Tell us a little bit more about what's in the gift baskets as well as just the packaging themselves.
Okay, so we start off with the spice blends, and the spice blends are a number of different spices. This one is a little lamb. We have veg out, don't be a jerk, Greek goddess. They're all meant to enhance the flavor of pretty much anything. So even though this little piggy might be best for pork, it's still great on potatoes, pasta. They can be used in salad dressings. They're multi-use. And then I came up with this little portable spice collection. It's great for a hostess gift, or if you're just going over to somebody's house to cook them dinner, you can bring your own little package of spices over. And simple syrups. We have boozy jealous cherries, sangria mix. And everything's just sort of designed to upscale your game in the kitchen and make it really easy and fun to do that.
And more people are cooking at home. They need a little bit of guidance. I love the fact that you can actually show that on the back of your products.
Oh, yes.
They give you an idea of how to cook with that particular ingredient. So there's multiple uses.
Absolutely. So on the back of it, there's a link to the website, which takes you to the recipe page. And there are 4 to 5 recipes per item. So, and different recipes. So one might be for meat, one might be for vegetables, the other might be for a dessert.
Essentially, it's Chef Laura's book online.
Absolutely, it kind of is.
That's excellent. Now, holiday season is coming up. These make wonderful gifts. You can purchase online
Absolutely.
through your website.
Yes.
And we are going to show all the information
Perfect.
at the end of the show in the credits.
And this is a really fun one, talking about the holidays. It's called Gold Digger Simple Syrup, and you can pour it on ice cream or put it in your Christmas cocktails, and it's just meant to be fun.
Oh, it's wonderful, and definitely edible sparkle in
Edible
your
gold.
edible sparkle in your
It will make you
holiday
feel
meal.
very rich.
It's wonderful. Beautiful packaging, beautiful products. Again, as I mentioned, I've had the luck to try a lot of these products, and they're excellent. You've also partnered with sustainable companies as well. Tell us
Yes.
a little bit as we wrap up on your sustainability program as well.
Well, sustainability is very, very important to me, and it always has been. We've got to take care of our environment. So every little thing that we do, whether it's recycling plastic, cooking oil, composting, we make sure we do that in our kitchen. I've also tried to partner as much as I can with local companies, local produce, local berries in the summer from farmers, and even the baskets were sourced locally.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you're a good community player. That's wonderful. And thank you, Chef Laura, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. All of Chef Laura's information will roll in the credits at the end of the show. And we also want to do a shout out to Shane May of May Management and his client, the Golden Parrots Pub and Restaurant, for allowing us to film here today in this great place. So again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Hope you're enjoying the show. I just want to do a quick shout out to my dad. It's his birthday month. So happy birthday, Dad. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Here's a little shot of him from way, way back. And now, back to the show. We're back in South Vancouver at Mad Lab Distilling with the mad scientist himself, Scott Thompson, owner and distiller at Mad Lab Distilling. The holiday season is upon us, and you've got some great products for people at home to make some excellent excellent cocktails on their own.
Yeah, so our newest release here is our cocktail series. What we realized is that, you know, not everybody is a experienced bartender. Maybe making some of these classic cocktails exactly right is going to be a little bit more challenging, so we decided to do the work for you, and we've come up with 4 premium craft cocktails. All you got to do is pour over ice. They're delicious. They're these spirit-forward cocktails. We've got 2 variations on our old-fashioned, a s'mores and a smoked old-fashioned. We've got a blue Negroni, which is a twist on the classic Italian cocktail, and we're doing a Godfather, which is very almondy, amaretto kind of flavor on that one. And then,
I'm going to say I had a little sip of that. Oh my Godfather. That is quick becoming my favorite drink. So.
It's you know what, it was one of my favorites too. So it was when we decided to start kind of making our own twists on it, it was a really natural, easy fit for us for sure.
And now you've made some cocktails here for us.
I have, yeah. So we've started off with kind of some, again, just little twists on some basic ones. So what I've been doing lately is kimchi Caesars. That nice spicy acidity just makes an amazing, like, rich, flavorful Caesar. So that's what I've been doing. I've used the salty cabbage kimchi here. The one's made locally in Vancouver. Then we've got our gin and soda, which is just a little bit of a twist. We've added some of our black lime bitters, so it gives it a little bit more acidity. And that black lime has this kind of like rich, earthy lime flavor, which is really delicious. And then finishing it off with our chocolate martini, which is using a little bit of agave nectar and another new product for us, which is our chocolate spice Mad Dog. So it's got a really rich spice chocolate flavor.
I know a lot of people make really fantastic Caesars by cramming everything on top. You know, they even got like hot dogs and burgers on top. But I love what you said about your Caesar, making the juice itself tasty.
Yeah, that's just a personal preference of mine. You know, if you're going to make a great Caesar, make sure the liquid is top first, then worry about the garnish later. You know, they're fun. Garnishes are fun. You can do a lot of creative and wild things, but that liquid has got to complement it first, and then the garnish has got to be at adding that extra layer to it. So.
Makes a lot of sense. Can you give our audience some tips on being creative and adventurous at home, say with your bitters? How can someone, you know, feel confident?
So what we have is we've also released our cocktail bitters. We've got 2 sizes. We've got the 100 ml and the 30 ml. The nice thing about that is you can pick up a little bottle and test them out if you want. Bitters are traditionally used in a lot of classic cocktails, and they're a great way to infuse these sort of rich, bold flavors. Some of them are very spice heavy, some of them are very citrus heavy. So we've got a wide arrangement of them, and you can basically take a classic cocktail that calls for some sort of bitters. You can twist it a bit. You can say, hey, it calls for chocolate bitters. Maybe I'll use a marzipan bitters is one of the ones we have. You can sort of alter the flavor a little bit, change the texture of the cocktail a little bit, and just sort of elevate it to that next level.
Oh, that's excellent. It's a lot of fun. So a lot of people are going to be home for the holidays, of course, no traveling, and so they're going to get creative in using your product. Speaking of your products, you can go online to get your products. Pretty easy to get delivery. And
yeah, we ship by Canada Post Canada-wide, so anyone you can order, and we ship out pretty quick. There are no minimums or anything, but and then we do free shipping for orders over $150 Canada-wide. And yeah, these are great. I mean, these premix cocktails that we're doing are fantastic because, you know, you don't have the time. You know, even though you're maybe not having the big crowd that you would have had over, you still are prepping a lot. You know, you're cooking, you're doing what you can for your small gathering, and you know, having to worry about cocktails is another layer on top of that. So being able to just say, hey, here are this selection of cocktails that are ready to go. All you got to do is pour over ice, and everyone can have a beautiful sip and enjoy a nice premium cocktail without having to fight through the crowds at the cocktail bar.
No kidding, be a master mixologist at home. But we would be, before we go, we'd be remiss in not mentioning one of your probably best creation, most fantastic creation of 2020. There's a new addition to the Mad Lab family.
We had our baby girl Elizabeth. She was born on the 24th of May, which was it was a bit of a hair-raising experience being in the hospital during the height of really COVID, and actually where we were, they had a big outbreak in the same wing a couple weeks after we left. So it was a little scary, but you know, at the end we brought the bundle of joy home, and she's been, you know, for as horrible as everything in 2020 has been, it's been one of the best years for me in regards to that. So
well, congratulations. Well, for more information on Mad Lab Distilling, everything will be in our credits at the end of the show on where to get all these spirits, as well as I know that you're working on some cocktail tips as well as how to make the cocktails, but feel free to reach out to Scott through the website as well. He loves to chat to all of his customers. So thanks again to Mad Lab Distilling. Always a pleasure, Scott, and I can't wait to jump into these cocktails. It's time, isn't it?
It is. Let's get to it.
So cheers.
Cheers. Clink.
Well, we find ourselves back out here in Richmond for our latest edition of Inside Business. You know, in a time when it seems all local newspapers are going the way or have already gone the way of CDs and DVDs, it's nice to see that one guy is bucking the trend. Here in Richmond, the publication is known as the Richmond Sentinel. The publisher is Paul Tam. He's the latest in our Inside Business segment. Well, now we're in the Richmond Sentinel office of Paul Tam, the publisher. Paul, welcome to our city tonight.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Hey, let's touch briefly on your upbringing. You were born and raised in Hong Kong. You moved here when you were 16. Talk about that experience.
Well, when the first time I come to Canada, actually is around, it is 80, in 1986. And it's quite different. People here is a little bit more different, and they don't know where Hong Kong is. And at that time, because of the communication is not so, not like the technology right now.
Yeah.
At the same time, the cultural difference, the weather is different, and also there is a lot about language barrier too as well.
You have earned a formal education, several degrees, great business accomplishments, including where we are right now. But your number one passion is martial arts, and I have to tout your horn for a few seconds here, because you led Team Canada to the World Championship 3 years in a row in winning 3 gold medals, 2 silver medals for Canada, and today you're the proud founder, owner of the CLF Kung Fu Club.
Yeah.
Talk a bit about your history of that, but also that your passion continued to involve the community, kids, seniors, and is going strong today.
Well, that is 2004, a long, long time ago, 16 years ago, by the time I was actually competing with the first World Championship for traditional martial art. And then since then, after 3 terms, 6 years after, and then I started to lead the BC team of Canada to train some of the kids and also some of the teammates to go to compete again. And then afterward, I started to train more and focusing on training more athletes to actually go for traditional martial art.
And then it leads you into the club you have, which, as I mentioned, you're taking that experience, the award-winning years, and as I said, you brought the community in, and you're training young kids. When I've been to your studio, it's so nice to see all these young kids learning. Talk a bit about what it does for the kids in terms of a sport, philosophy, discipline.
Actually, for traditional martial art, it's a little bit different than the other sport. And you can train not just a discipline, but you can also train philosophy behind it. Right. So that's why I'm very keen to actually training younger generation to also keep the culture too as well, and Chinese traditional culture. At the same time, they can train their physical condition and at the same time, discipline too as well.
You also care a great deal about seniors. Talk a bit about how this...
Yes, I work in the senior home for a couple of years, and I can see the firsthand how they were being mistreated, majority of them. And I would like to actually, contribute some of my time, and then they have done so much for our community and since what we have right now. Yeah. So I would like to train them back and try to keep their health healthier.
Always important. Let's talk about where we are right now at the offices of the Richmond Sentinel. It has always broken my heart the more and more I see local publications closing up shop due to financial reasons or readership or what have you. But you decided to go against that trend a few years back with the Richmond Sentinel. Talk a bit about why and what you wanted to give to the community with this publication.
How we start at the very beginning is because I still remember the first time when I come to Canada, and how I learned English is actually from a high school librarian. Right. And she took a newspaper and told me that that's the best way to learn English. Why one thing is you can get the community value. Second, you can get the local, how the literature and all the stuff, how people talk, and you can understand the culture a lot more. So this is one of the reasons I actually would like to have the newspaper for the new immigrant and to read it. However, it's very hard to find a mutual, without bias, and actually good topics article actually nowadays. So that's why one of the reasons why I want to start this business.
Yeah, and I commend you in this polarizing time in which we live, where opinions tend to bleed over from the opinion page to the news stories, and everybody has their slant. You're really trying to tell stories that just are presented. Here are the facts, here are the news, you make up your own
I think
mind.
There's enough editorial right now here, so in the media side or in the publication. And to me, I think there is a lot more, talk about more about people. Actually, in a community newspaper, we should talk more about people's relationship and story. There's tons of stuff in Chile, especially in Richmond community. There's tons of stuff that actually not being covered. And I would like to actually tell the untold story.
Yeah.
And then let the people understand the different culture, understand people actually more, less conflict.
And you've really blended nicely new and old media in terms of, I want a hard copy publication out there for people like me and older. I like holding the newspaper. I'll also read online, but you're also very active on digital and social media for the paper.
I think newspaper there's a need for the newspaper, and it's the format is different. Nowadays, because of technology, we should actually modify or actually evolve a little bit. But traditional newspaper, there's a need for it. But how you distribute it, I think we should change a little bit. Like instead of mass distribution, we should focusing on the high traffic area so people can share it.
Right. Yeah, it's nice that you allow people to get their hands on it that want traditional, that may not have internet or may not feel comfortable going online. Talk about this year. It's been an unprecedented times for all of us, and how you have to adapt and alter your publication to kind of deal with the COVID.
Before this COVID, we already have a program actually for the plan to change it from more on traditional distribution and hard copy to digital and social media. That's what we did, and we also developed an app for it. But during the COVID, and actually we progressed a lot faster. That's all.
Very nice. We will have all Paul's information in our end credits, including where you can find out more information on his club, Richmond Sentinel. Paul, always a great pleasure to sit and talk with you,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you for joining us. Paul Tan, he is the publisher of the Richmond Sentinel here in Richmond, and it's the latest in our City Tonight Inside Business segment. Well, we're back here where we started the show in sunny Falls Creek. As I said at the beginning of the show, to have sunshine at this time of the year is pretty rare, so we hope you're enjoying it if you're outside in the sunshine today.
It is absolutely beautiful, but it's our time to say goodbye. So I'm Lita Leapins.
I'm Jim Gordon. Don't forget to check us out on social media as well, on Instagram, Facebook, and you can check out past episodes on YouTube. I'm Jim Gordon. We'll see you on the next edition of Our City Tonight.
Outdoor wear for Jim and Lita provided by Helly Hansen, alive since 1877.
Youngblood Mineral Cosmetics provided by Soluzione Spa Products.